Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Red Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is the preview for our first official game of the Premier League campaign against Wolves at Old Trafford. And we've seen Arsenal, City, Brighton and Newcastle all start with a win this weekend. So very important to get the 3 points straight off the bat. To pick the ball into this game, we've got Aaron, Sam and Shreyas alongside us. How are we doing, lads? And are we looking forward to this one? Whoever wants to go on that.
Yeah, man,
all right then, Will. Go on.
I was checking the quality of the stream, so I was letting someone else go.
I was just waiting for someone to speak.
You're all too polite, basically, but go on, Aaron.
But now, man, good. United's back. Prem's back.
Absolutely. Shreyas, you looking forward to this one? Wolves?
Yes, fine.
Game, usually 9-0 is out there.
Yeah. A very, fixture, where there is completely open football. You can definitely see, 5 or 4 goals going in from each end. If you miss a moment in that game, if you miss 2 minutes, it's like missing the whole game altogether.
That's it.
Very exciting fixture. One of the best fixtures in the league, probably game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Hype that up. Hype it up to shit. 2 prolific goal scorers as well available for this game, Sam, so it's going to be a goal fest. How are you feeling about this one?
Everybody's happy that there's Sam emojis in the thing, and now it started because I knew it was going to. As soon as I made mine, now there's people demanding a Shreyas one. There's people going, I need a Shreyas one. I'm like, for fuck's sake, just every week there's going to be a new fucking demand for emojis.
Shreyas, you have to get that sent. Send us over a PNG of yourself, and we'll sort that out.
Yeah. But titans of goal scoring, titans of players I was trying to find to put on a fucking graphic for Wolves because they've got no more recognisable players left that I could possibly.
You should have just put an actual wolf on the front of it.
You might as well, because it was like Jimenez is gone, Matinho's gone, Neves is gone. Even Diego Costa, Traore's who the fuck do I put on this graphic? So I apologise because I couldn't think of anybody.
Yeah,
but
poor Gary O'Neill. Poor Gary, honestly. Yeah, if you lot in the chat are as excited for us to watch this blockbuster tomorrow night, smash a like on the video and do subscribe to the channel. We're getting to your comments very, very shortly, so keep getting them in. Leave a like on the video, like I just said. Right, we haven't done a warm-up in a while. Usually it's tradition. We do previews, do a bit of a warm-up at the start, discuss us as a team, the opposition, and then do our quick fires, etc. So we're going to kick it off with a true or false. In our last 5 games against Wolves, every game has been 1-0. True or false?
No.
False.
They went false, I'll go true.
It is false. There's been 3 1-0s, a 2-1 and a 2-0. True or false? In the Premier League era, Wolves have only ever beaten us once at Old Trafford.
Say again.
In the Premier League era, Wolves have only ever beaten us once at Old Trafford.
True.
Yeah, true.
Not even false.
True. It is true. Yeah. On that.
When was it? When did he beat us?
I didn't check it was probably a couple of years ago, I think, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Was it the year when they beat us in the league and then they beat us in the cup, literally the same week or something?
Yeah.
Last up, Raul Jimenez, best goal scoring season at Wolves is better than Marcus Rashford's best goal scoring season for us. True or false?
True.
Yeah, I think he had a good season, didn't he? He had a really good season.
Trick question. Both the exact same. 17 goals. Raul Jimenez and Marcus Rashford in the league. There is a famous defender who played for both Wolves and Manchester United. Can you name him?
Famous defender?
Yep. For United.
Famous in the way.
Dennis Irwin.
Hey, there we go. Straight off the bat. From Oldham to United to Wolves 2002 to 2004. Right then, let's kick the preview off. We play Wolves at Old Trafford tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. Wolves having a lot of issues at the moment with recruitment. They've recently just changed the manager from Lopetegui to Gary O'Neill. We've had a bit of a mixed pre-season, new signings settling in. We expect a much better start than last season where we lost to fucking Brentford and Brighton. So let's hope we kick it off with a clean sheet and 3 points. Sam, what are you expecting from this game in general?
Not the funnest of games, as we know. United versus Wolves is never a glittering fixture, shall we say.
Nah.
Always a bit of a frustrating game, especially at Molineux, but luckily it's at Old Trafford tomorrow, which is a bit of a bonus, I suppose. To be honest, I don't really care how the game goes or like how exciting it is, as long as we get 3 points. 3 points, that's what matters. Against Wolves, you can't expect any better than that. Like, if we put on a great performance, absolutely, I'm all over that, and it'd be good to see. At home last season, I think we lost once at home last season. So
just the first game.
Yeah. So if we can continue that on, I think we'll be in good stead. But this season we have to improve on our away form, because that was terrible, absolutely terrible, like last season. So I think, if we could just maintain the home form, which I think we will do, because Ten Hag's all about building, like much like Fergie said. I think his phrase was, you have to win all your home games and then try and take at least a point on your away games. And that's how you win titles and leagues and stuff like that. And obviously with the modern league at the minute, you have to get 90 plus points to even come close to winning a title.
At least.
And I think the last time we got 90, I think it was 91 points, was like 2005, I think, or 2004 maybe. So we're not historically good at like racking up that amount of points. So away form has to dramatically improve. But at home, I'm very confident. We've got limited injuries. I know Hoyland's out. I know Ahmad is out and Kobe.
Martial is out.
I mean, that's not really news.
Is he out? He might be available for selection.
I'm sure he'll injure himself before tomorrow. So so I think we've got a decent team. Our first team should be absolutely smashing their team.
Absolutely.
We should be bad, because they've lost all their best players and we've got almost a full squad to pick from. So we should be absolutely battering these. So, but as long as we get 3 points, that's all I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, I'm not sure if you watched much of pre-season or chunks or little bits or whatever, but did you identify any issues at all with United during pre-season? Any positives that you saw that you think we can take into this season?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really watch much, to be honest. More highlights. But I'm just interested
Aaron,
to know.
You didn't get up at 3 a.m. to watch Wrexham?
Hey, don't chat to me. Don't chat to me about Wrexham, mate. Okay, now.
Do you know what? I watched the Leeds game, and then after that, I was at the second half. That was just boring.
Yeah, it was bad.
After that, I kind of was like, I'll just keep my eye on pre-season. I'm not like fully invested.
Don't blame you.
But I'm just interested to see mainly the midfield. I don't know if Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno can sustain for like a full season. I'm just unsure about the balance.
A lot of people saying that. Let's get into that, because I've heard that a few times from a few people. I think it'll be okay. I think in certain games, if we do bring an Amrabat, we'll need an Amrabat and Casemiro together. But I think for the majority, I think Mount and Bruno is fine. But just tell us why you think that.
I think personally they could probably do all right, but I can understand why there could be cracks in there, because I just feel like if we're getting overrun, Mason Mount and Bruno, they're hard working and that, but are they reliable like defensively to where, say like Amrabat and Casemiro? I don't think we have that fallback, someone that's to go to Casemiro if obviously we're getting overrun, or because McTominay is not that guy. Obviously Fred's going, and it's like I feel like we need an improvement on Fred, but we need that sort of mould where they're going to get stuck in and they're going to... Fred will give the ball away, but he'll win it back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we're still one midfielder short, to be honest, whether it be Amrabat or someone else. Just certain game... Mount's the improvement on Eriksen, because obviously Eriksen gets a leggy and gets passed around, and he wasn't
Remember you saying reliable. He looks like he runs in mud, doesn't he? Quicksand at times.
Yeah. Like he's got concrete boots on sometimes. But it's like, personally, I think we're going to be all right, but it's just the big games where it worries me that if Mount is getting lost in a game, or there's times where Bruno has to go on the right-hand side, and then it's going to be Casemiro, Mount, Eriksen, or Mount McTominay. Just worries me that we don't have that, obviously, other person to drop in.
Well, I've noticed Ten Hag talk a lot about surprise in his approach, and I think so. A lot of times you see United set up in like the 3-2-5 or whatever it is you want to call it. Lissandro will step into midfield, Casemiro drops back. You see the wing backs kind of split in either side, and that's one of the reasons why he wants to bring in a Pavard, because he can fit. You know, he can defend in the channel. He can be that ball progressor in the midfield. Like, there's multiple players you can chop and change around there. And then your front five will be Højlund, Rashford, Antony, Mount, Bruno. But I do get, like, in certain games, Mount potentially might not work. But again, it's yet to be seen. That we'll have to see how he kind of cracks on in the Premier League. Individually, Shreyas, who do you see being effective against Wolves tomorrow night, or who would you deploy in that game specifically to hurt Wolves? Because they're probably going to defend deep, right?
I think I'll go Mason Mount with that, because I think in set games when you have to play against a low block, like last season, whenever we came up against a low block, the most important figure in our team used to be Eriksen, because he was the one who was, he had that vision, he had the creativity to, just launch a pass that could just break defensive lines altogether. And then whether it was a Rashford or Antony, they could just, get in behind, exploit the space and go for goal. I think on that note, I would say that this season, Mount will be doing that role. And because Mount is younger, I think he's got more pace, he's got more physicality, and I think when it comes to transitions and bringing out that element of surprise, he can be a figure who can interchange with Bruno from time to time while we are attacking or while we are defending. And I think it provides Casemiro with a lot of help as well, because he has a much more mobile and much more work rate efficient player working alongside him, so he doesn't have to do that entire job on his own. So I think Mount will be very important tomorrow, and I expect him to have a good game. And if he has a good game, then it means that Mount has a good game instantly. Bruno also has a good game, creates more chances for Rashford or Sancho or Antony, with however the front three actually lines up tomorrow. I think it depends on Mount and Bruno.
Absolutely. Sam, should we read out some comments, see what everybody else is thinking, what the vibe is? You're on mute.
You're mute, Sam.
About now, we're good.
There we go. We're good.
Everybody's going mad about the Sam emoji. I finally made it, and now everybody's asking for a Shreyas one. So of course it's never ending, isn't it?
We'll get it done.
Problem is, I can't make a Shreyas one until we have 2 more members. Once we get 2 more members, I can make 4 more emojis. So we get 2 more members. So if you want the Shreyas thing to happen, 2 more members sign up, you get Shreyas emoji.
Well, I'll just mention that very quickly as well. I mentioned it before, and I'm probably going to annoy the life out of you for it, but the video dropped onto Debo yesterday. So if you want to know what type of centre-back he is, his background, positives, negatives, issues early on in his career, make sure you go check that out. And there's another video dropping on Benjamin Pavard next week about his journey, literally from Lille's academy up until that obviously moment at the World Cup, and what type of player he is. And then there'll be another members video on top of that as well. So if you do want to become a member, click the link in the description or the join button next to the notification bell, please.
Absolutely. Dan's excited that Aaron is back. All the usual people in the chat. Brian Casey. Gray is saying, nice shirt. Thank you. Birthday or Christmas was it, Nick? This one?
One of them. Yeah. No idea. Can't
from
remember.
Nick. It's a Real Betis kit from, I can't remember the year. I can't remember which year it was.
Also, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's a lovely kit. Yeah. So
the beauty.
Aaron is saying, Sam repping the new away kit. Are we pro Glazers now, Sam? Absolutely, mate. Look at that. Who scores?
Aaron, just lean over that.
Aaron's just like. Vince is saying, apparently the trains are going on strike the day we play Forest. Oh, I can't wait for that shit. More travel chaos. Yeah. Let's have a look. 10k gets a Cantona. I mean, if we get to 10k Cantona on the show, I'll just retire. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just retire. Rumours going around that United thinking about selling Alvaro Fernandez. We will touch on that. Don't worry. I'll touch on that. Adam saying, I just don't want to go to bed staring at the ceiling and think it's going to be a long season ahead. I mean, anytime we watch Wolves, it's like that, isn't it? Brian Casey saying, I'm expecting a 4-0 win. Very positive from Brian there. So, yeah, Alvaro Fernandez being rumoured to be sold to Bundesliga or to Granada, which I'm very upset about if true, because I think that kid has got a lot of talent and it'd be annoying to let him go, but it wouldn't be unlikely because we've got rid of talent that I thought would be willing to stay, like Kovar and Iqbal. We've got rid of them, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I think we shouldn't let that kid go. I think he's very, very good. But
yeah, I agree. I think Ten Hag's looking at him, he's so ruthless with the youngsters. And I think you look at Malacia there, who he brought in, Luke Shaw, the way he's performing, maybe he just thinks he's not going to get any game time at all. So better to get, 8 to 10 million for him now, maybe, and rather if he kind of digresses at other clubs. I'm not entirely sure, but it would be disappointing because I think he's a very talented boy. I think maybe loan him this season if he steps up another level. He might be asking the question of last year there, and then you can, I don't know, do whatever, I suppose. Any other comments at all?
No, that's it. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all the comments.
Cool. All right, let's take a look at Wolves then. I was looking at the pre-season. Again, you can't really measure much off pre-season because it is what it is. They played Porto, Celtic, Stadia, Rennes, Luton, and Victoria SC, whoever the fuck they are. So make of that what you will. But they didn't lose a game. They drew a couple, won most of them. Last season, of course, they was fighting relegation for a while, but managed to come through the other side. It's a weird one with Wolves. Do you think they'll have a go tomorrow, Sam, or do you think they'll approach it differently? Because it is a new manager, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Gary O'Neill did well with Bournemouth, like with the job he got. He was very unlucky, I think, to not get the job like permanently after the thing. But obviously, investment came into Bournemouth, and they've pumped a lot of money in, bought some really young players, and wanted to move on. Do we still know the name of the Bournemouth manager yet?
It's like Ariola or something like that. It's called.
No, nobody knows.
Someone.
Yeah. So like he was unlucky to not get that job. So I don't think he's a terrible manager, but it's a shit situation to come in at Wolves, isn't it? When you've lost all your best players, and you're coming in just 2 days before the season starts, and you're probably not getting many transfers, if any.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difficult situation. So all signs would point towards us absolutely doing Wolves over, wouldn't it? And just them not having a great season. And I put them up for relegation candidates personally. I think Luton, Sheffield, and Wolves would be the three that would go down, because I think Wolves are in such a state at the minute. Like, I don't see it getting better, and especially when you lose Lopetegui, who I think is a very, very good coach. I think he's in that next bracket below like Emery and stuff like that. I think he's the next bracket below.
Definitely.
You lose him, and you lose all your best players. Like, what do you expect? Like, this doesn't look good for Wolves fans, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't expect much of him this season, to be honest with you.
What about yourself, Aaron? Any Wolves at all about any worries about Wolves? Jesus. Maybe the surprise factor of new manager. I know you was kind of joking, weren't we, off camera, saying like individuals, fuck knows, because you don't even know who's there anymore. Do you think it's going to be nice and easy for United tomorrow?
I'd like to think so, but the only little nagging thing in the back of my head is I was obviously when I was checking the results like yesterday and that, I was looking and I was thinking every time like opening week. I'm sure I want to like what Brentford beat Arsenal, was it last season or the season before?
Yeah,
and that on opening
prize
day.
Ones, yeah.
And I always feel like there's a surprise on an upset on the first week, like the first game week, and there's not been one yet. And I think, are we going to be that one? You know what I mean?
Don't say that now.
That's literally just.
You curse that now. If that happens, it's on you, mate. Every United fan.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking it last night. I was just thinking, we better not be that upset. So I was looking at the scores and I was thinking straight away, it's been a mad result, and everything was like what
most teams have done what you expected.
So my heart tells me that it should be I think it'll be like a 2-0, 3-0, but there's that little thing in the back of my mind that thinks how are we going to be that upset?
Yeah. Well, straight as we put a clip out before of what our predictions was pretty much spot on. It was very, very close with our predictions anyway. So don't give me your score prediction just yet, but it'd be interesting to see if we can get close with that as well. They have lost big players, haven't they, Wolves? Neves, Coutinho, Traore. Do you think it'll be another relegation scrap for them this season?
I think it will be more than that, because last season Neves was one of their top scorers, and when you've got your box-to-box midfielder being your top scorer, it means that you've genuinely got a lot of issues in that team.
Yeah.
And now they've lost him as well. I don't think that they've invested well enough to actually, fill that hole left behind by Ruben Neves and so many other players that have left the club as well. They don't, strike me as a team that can genuinely, create a lot of chances. And actually, even if they do, I don't see them, having players who can convert those chances off. Defensively as well, there is only one way that they will be setting up, at least for the first few fixtures, and that will be they will be playing a low block. They will, just remain compact, play in their own box. And to be very honest with you, that is one of the reasons why I think that tomorrow's game will actually proceed well in United's favor. Because the first season of Ten Hag at United, we took as many points as we could against teams that played a low block. And we actually played very, very well against them. Like, we were able to maintain 70% possession or 65% possession and actually do something with that rather than just playing the ball sideways or backwards. So I think now with the kind of upgrades we made, tomorrow I think it will be a convincing win, and probably it will set the tone for us for the coming season.
Well, I look at Wolves, right, and the players they've lost. Jimenez, who was massively influential. I know he had the injury issue and stuff, but he was massively influential for them.
Yeah.
You had Neves, who's got obviously top goal scorer. Matinho, who had a massive influence on that team. Like they've lost Traore, who was like a surprise package off the bench, who could cause problems at times.
Always
all
played
them
well.
Players.
Always played well against United. Traore.
Yeah,
every fucking time.
Yeah. The only players that they brought in Matheus Cunha, I think his name is, but he was already on loan there last season, so it's not like a new signing. Like he was playing for him there, and a kid called Traore from France, who I don't know much about. So how can you expect? You can see why Lopetegui left. He's looking at him like, well, how can you remove these such important players to the core of the squad, and then just bring in these guys? Like it's like a recipe for disaster. You just know what's going to happen, but obviously Gary O'Neill's willing to take that chance, so we'll see what happens. Let's do some quick fire questions then, lads. Tomorrow night, Manchester United versus Wolves at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Will we keep a clean sheet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will there be more than 3 goals in the match?
No.
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 Will Jadon Sancho start?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Will Marcus Rashford score?
Yes.
No.
Will there be anything significant like a red card, penalty, or controversial VAR decision?
I want to hope not.
No.
Casemiro was playing in it, to be fair. Prediction for man of the match, lads?
Mason Mount.
Ooh.
Luke
Casemiro.
Shaw.
Okay. I like it. Predicted 11s. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Shreya's going first. Okay.
Andrew Nana net. I think Dalot will start on that right hand side. Might be Wan-Bissaka, but I just think that, considering we're playing against a low block, Dalot might prove to be more influential in that sort of game. Then, of course, Lisandro Martinez and Varane as the centre backs, left back Luke Shaw. Then Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno in midfield. Then I think it will be Sancho false 9, Rashford off the left, Anthony on the right.
Very nice. I think most people will probably agree with defence and midfield there or thereabouts. Probably attack that'll be the most kind of a bit of debate on. Aaron, what are you going for?
I nearly said the hair in net then. Muscle memory that.
I fucking hope not.
If only.
Yeah.
Onana. And then I think Wan-Bissaka right back. And then 2 centre-backs, obviously Martinez, Varane, Luke Shaw left back. Midfield 3 Casemiro, Mount, Bruno. And then this is more wishful thinking just because I'll explain when I've said, obviously, Rashford on the left, Sancho in the middle, false 9, and Anthony on the right, only because this is more like wishful thinking because I think Rashford is more effective from the left. I don't really like him down the middle, so I'd like to see Sancho in the false 9 just so we can get the best out of Rashford.
Nice. Sam?
Onana, I think Dalot starts. I really think that Ten Hag fancies Dalot over Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to give him enough opportunity to find that form that he had before the World Cup. Because when he had that, he was very, very good. So I think he's trying to give him as many opportunities as possible to get that form back. So I think he's going to play him. And then it's Varane, Lisandro, Shaw. Midfield is going to be Casemiro, Mason Mount, Bruno. And then the attack, I think it's going to be Garnacho on the left, Rashford down the middle, and Anthony on the right. I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what it's going to be. I'd rather have Rashford on the left, but I think that's how he's going to set up.
Yeah, mine's the exact same team as that. But that's what I think he'll play. But I agree. I would like to see Sancho play as the false 9 because I think Wolves are going to be stubborn. They're going to be compact, and I think Sancho can drag them players out, and Rashford can make them runs in behind or wingers or whoever it is.
Considering how they'll line up, considering how they'll play, Sancho false 9 suits tomorrow's game.
I think so. Yeah.
I'd love to see Kobe as well, but he's injured, so.
On the right backs, I think it's kind of make or break for Dalot this season. That's how I feel anyway. I feel like obviously the resurgence of Wan-Bissaka is more memorable than like a kind of downfall for Dalot, and I feel like neither of them really have got enough credit in the bank to have a bit of a bad season really. You know what I mean? They're both like teetering on the edge of where if they don't really produce now, it's like, do you get rid of them? You know what I mean? That's kind of how where I'm at with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. You kind of give him the benefit of doubt because it's like recency bias in it. Like, yeah, he's had a good last season.
Well, I'd love to hear...
fall off was a bit.
Sorry, I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts as well in the chat about the right back situation. I do agree with you, but I think Dalot's just got a contract extension on it, and there's talks about them now giving Wan-Bissaka a new contract as well. So I'm not sure they see it like that. Maybe they see 23 both just compete until they push each other until they get to a certain level.
The Frimpong rumours have died off as well, haven't they? Like, they were quite strong and they've just stopped. So
I just feel, because I feel like next summer, like, obviously we'll bring in our targets for this, and then obviously we're planning for next summer. So then you look at it, where do you strengthen? Probably maybe another striker, depending on what happens. And then, I don't know, wingers were pretty set, I feel, in that position. Even if you lost someone like Sancho, Pellistri might step up. So then you start looking like, where do we strengthen? And then right back's probably the next one where I look at and think we've not got a nailed on 7 or 8 out of 10 every week performer. You know what I mean? So I just feel like maybe you'll go for some sort of consistency there.
Centre back as well. We need a Varane replacement.
Centre back,
he needs to be replaced eventually.
The positions you'd look at then.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get into score predictions, shall we read some comments out and then we'll give the famous predictions?
Where did we get to? Yeah, we got through that. Brian Casey saying if Alvaro goes, it should be a loan deal. I agree. Vince saying Nick, Sam, and the third guy. That's Aaron, by the way. Vince. Will you be going to the game tomorrow? I'm not going. Nick's going. Are you going, Aaron?
Nah.
I know.
I'm doing a watch along for the game, so I won't be there.
Shah Sam saying 3-0 United. Vince Bullock saying 7-0. Bloody hell. If that happens, then I'm calling for we're winning the league, mate. It's happening.
Put a bet on Vince. Yeah. Put a bet on, mate.
Shah Sam saying Sancho man of the match. Brian Casey said Onana, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, Ante on the right, Rashford in the 10, Garnacho on the left.
Yeah.
Shah Sam is saying Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, Varane, Shaw, Bruno, Mount, Casemiro, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford. So, yeah, people are going very, very similar.
Sorry, I haven't done it in a while. It's been a hot minute since I've done that, to be honest. Like, we haven't done it for a while. Hopefully we'll be doing that in praise of his performance tomorrow. With everything we've discussed, lads, the opposition, Manchester United, the game in itself, score predictions and goal scorers. Please, Shreyas, I'll go in the same order. I'll go to you first.
Okay. Goal scorers. I think Mount, Anthony, and Bruno.
Oh. And the score? 3-0?
3-0. Yeah.
Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I had 3-0 as well. I had Mount as well as my goal scorer. And then Sancho, I think he might get a goal. Okay. And I'm going to go Varane from a corner.
Wow. Big shouts from the lads there. Sam, are you going as bold?
No, I'm going to go 2-0 and then Rashford and Bruno. Easy. Nice. Wow. 2-0. Nothing too exciting, but comfortable win and go home happy.
I'm going less bold than that. I'm going 1-0 Garnacho, I think. Off the bench. If he doesn't start off the bench, he gets a goal.
No one got Maguire off the bench, no.
No, Maguire will be in the squad, actually, to be fair. We spoke about Maguire earlier on today's show.
Yeah.
What time was we live again? 12:30? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if any of you guys missed that show, do check that out. We spoke about the centre-back in depth and a couple of other topics. Just the last thing I wanted to discuss, lads. We were discussing it in the chat just before we head off. Let me just pull this thing up because I want to read the actual direct thing. It's coming out about the ownership.
While you pull that up, I'll just read the last couple of comments. Brian Casey, 4-0, Rashford to Mount, Garnacho, and Shah Sam saying Sancho, Brace, and Mount. So, there you go. It's goal scorers.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. At least everyone's positive.
Yeah.
Right, so, Dalman says Cardiff's Malaysian owner remains committed to the club, but the chairman remains open to the idea of additional investment. He said, I've been meeting a lot with US private equity funds, and the valuation of football clubs is going through the roof. Americans are determined to come into this market quite heavily. I spoke to the owners of Leeds when we was there, and championship clubs are valued at 3 times their revenue, give or take. And then, obviously, this is the line. I'm not just talking about Cardiff's owner for the sake of it. This is the line that's come out from it. So Manchester United are going to renounce their sale at £7.2 billion, £7.3 billion, which is roughly 10 times their revenue. 2 or 3 years ago, we might have been talking about selling Cardiff for 20 mil, 30 mil, but now you're looking at 90 mil, 100 million valuation. Every club is stretched. What do you make of that, lads, if anything at all?
I wouldn't read much into it, to be honest with you. Like, I know he's friends with the Glazers. I believe he was involved in the initial Man United sale, and I think he's involved at Tampa Bay as well, the American football team. But I just think, yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it. Like, until we get confirmation from an actual news source or an actual someone who's in the know, I just think don't believe anything until an official announcement happens, because so many people have led us up blind alleys of complete and utter bullshit, saying, oh, the sale's happening next week. Oh, the sale's happening this week. Oh, it's going to be before the FA Cup final. Oh, it's going to be after the transfer window ends. Oh, it's going to be, do you know what I mean? It's all
pre-season.
It's all speculation and bollocks. So, yeah, don't read anything into it. It's just a guy making a comment. So, I wouldn't read anything into it.
You've heard directly from Sam, it's happening tomorrow morning before the Wolves game. Yeah. Aaron, Trey, has any thoughts on this at all?
I'm calling bullshit until something's actually confirmed. I'm calling bullshit on everything now until something's confirmed.
Have you seen that of Carl Pilkington when they asked him what superpower do you wish you had? Yeah. And he said, I wish I could be bullshit, man. Where you just fly through the window. Bullshit! Calling bullshit on everything. Shreyas, are you with the pack? Are you saying bullshit? Yeah?
Yeah, I think, once again, nothing has come out officially. I doubt that, something like this would come out in this manner, because the Glazers have kept this, completely tied in. Like, nothing has been leaked about it and no one knows anything. So I doubt that, something like this would be floated about. If it is true, it won't be floated about like this.
Yeah.
And we were getting the hang of things that, the Glazers were ready to sell at the 6 billion mark. And Sheikh Jassim's bid was circulating around that 5.5 billion mark. So there are still a lot of things zooming about. Will there be another bid? Will there be another completely, new negotiation process? So, to be very honest, no one knows anything. The situation is still as it stands, that nobody knows anything as to what will happen with Manchester United. But one thing for certain is that as the season progresses, it will be tough on the Glazers to keep the club running, because they just don't have the finances to, hold Old Trafford together.
Well, we have it on good authority from Jay Motti of Stretford Paddock that he saw Sheikh Jassim at the Greg's drive-through in Cadizhead or Earlham, wherever it was, I think. So take that for what you will, but we think things are cooking at the minute. Who knows? Let's see what happens with it. I do agree, 7 billion. It says 7.2 billion in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sheikh Jassim offered like 5.1 or 5.2 or something. So
yeah, I think the recent one that he put in was about 5.6 or 5.7, something about that.
Do you know what?
We're all calling bullshit.
The Qatari ITK accounts are getting desperate now, because I feel like, as you know, I like trolling them and getting banned and getting blocked. So I've been reading a couple more of them, and they're going on with stuff. They've moved on to the sort of Greenwood situation now, because they've realised anytime they tweet about Qatari stuff. So one of them I saw before is like, anybody who boos or shouts stuff at Mason Greenwood is going to be banned from the stadium for life. So that just shows you the information that they're getting is complete and utter bollocks in terms of the Qatari stuff. Yeah. Because if that's the sort of stuff they're putting out, you know what I mean? So let's.
But there are people on social media who will believe anything. I mean, I've not been a sucker for that kind of stuff, but I've been in the past where I'm like,
this guy's got 30,000 followers as well, and he's putting shit like that out. We've got 1,300 followers or something like that.
Yeah.
And we try and quality content, report for repost for legit sources. This guy's got 30,000 from just speaking absolute bollocks. It's mental.
Just tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it, about modern day social media, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, let's all go watch the El Casido, because Liverpool are playing Chelsea in about 20 minutes' time. Looking forward to that one. And let's even more looking forward to Wolves tomorrow night. Make sure whoever is in the chat currently, come and join me for the watch along tomorrow. We'll go through the team lineups together. We'll speak about the game itself.
There'll be a review after the game as well.
There'll be a review after the game, of course. live. I'll be live on TikTok and YouTube for the game, and then we'll be live on YouTube for the review afterwards. And let's hope we start the season with a bang. We don't want none of this Brighton bullshit from last season where we lose our first game or lose our first couple. Let's hope. God, no. So, yeah, get your capybaras in the chat. You know the script. I'm going to drop this beat in 3, 2, 1. Capybara! There's some remix to this, so I'm definitely going to put on, by the way, but just for now. Capybara! Oh.
Peace out, everybody.
In a bit, guys. Peace.
We want blaze out, and we want blaze out. We want blaze out, and we want blaze out.